All right, we had a short commercial there for the Metroid Prime tournament going on. We're back. We have the category Game 3, ARealCutie versus Kipp GT Classic. Oh boy, this is an interesting category. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about GT Classic and what is going to make this a very tense race?
It's it's a category we talked about it last race with Green Gate Glitch, but it'll be even more imperative that they both get this. The Green Gate Glitch, they'll have fewer supers, they'll only have one super pack maximum, and there are a lot of strategies that either one of them can do to make it, well, just to make it or break it. That's what this category is. It's a make it or break it category. You have one shot, one opportunity, and if you miss it, that's a forfeit 14 minutes in, and you just watch the other guy sail on past the finish line. So as long as we can get both runners past the first 14 minutes of this category, I expect we're going to be in it for a very good race.
And I want to back up actually a minute or so before that. Is we have Lava Dive here, and if our runners were being particularly bold, we may see some high jumpless lava dives to get down to GT to save themselves some time there. Not the most safe of strats to do in a race, but certainly could see one of them going for that.
I'm pretty sure Cutie knows how to do it, but I haven't seen him do any high jumpless lava dives in the tournament. I know Kipp knows how to do it. It's potential. I don't know. I guess maybe they'll both be watching the race as they get into like Kraid and whatnot. See how far ahead or behind they are and might decide to do something risky. The big thing here is who decides what safeties to get. And I know both of these runners have had unfortunate experiences with GT Classic already in this tournament. So
I hope we don't get a missed input on the code today. That
would be the most sad thing. Well, here we are. This will be pretty similar. First 9 minutes of, well, first 8.5, I suppose, of the last couple of categories. They'll be skipping a lot of the extra items, though. They'll only be getting one missile pack, one super pack, and one power bomb pack, and skipping charge beam. They'll head up, get early power bombs, and then head on down to Kraid to get the Varia suit, and then straight it down to Lone Warfare to get the GT code going.
Yeah, the GT code is a code that was intentionally or not left in by the developers. It's hard to say, but if you enter GT's room while GT is still alive and you hold down all 4 face buttons, your inventory is set to 700 health, 100 missiles, 20 supers, 20 power bombs, X-ray, grapple beam, all of the items except for screw attack, and I believe 3 full reserves. Is that right?
Is it 3? It might be 3. I have no idea. It's been a while since I've actually checked the number of reserves.
It's a lot of items. And at that point, the game is basically a boss rush. You go to Ridley, run up through Dragon, go kill Fantoon unless you're Sloters and you forgot about him, and then you head to Turian and finish off Mother Brain.
Yes, so the one item it will not give you is Screw Attack, which they get right outside. It'll be great. This is, honestly, I really like this category as a run. As a race, as we talked about, it's a very, very tense category. It's very short. Mistakes matter a lot. This is a tough category to do in Game 3 when both of their tournament lives are on the line.
Yeah, and it's somewhat a game of chicken, right? Because if these runners are both top tier, and if one of them goes for high jumpless lava dive and gets it, and the other one doesn't, that difference in time could be the difference in the race, and that could make it, be the one that wins. So it's sort of this game of chicken of how confident are you, and would you take the chance of going for that for the win, or do you think your opponent will also not go for high jumpless, and then you can both do the safer high jump strats? We'll see.
It'll definitely be interesting. I guarantee you, whoever's behind at Kraid, whether Kipp or Cutie, will probably pull out some sort of stop to try to get back in the lead, whether it's skipping farming, only going down with like 2 supers, or I mean, trying for high jumpless.
What about the zero tank, 135% GT code strat CWJ off the?
They could
to get
try
up there?
that, but it might be difficult and slow to go get gravity suit, unfortunately.
Do you get? I thought you only got Varia for that.
Oh, that's right. I always forget. That's that whole meme. I forgot about that stuff. That's that would be one heck of a Galaxy Brain play to skip the E-Tank and Terminator to save those 7 seconds. I would be impressed by the moxie of anyone who does that in a GT Classic race. All right, so we got early game here. Cutie off to a early lead of about 4 seconds heading into Bomb Chorizo. Hopefully, Bomb Chorizo is a little bit nicer to Cutie than he has been all night. There we go. That's the drops you want to see from Bomb Chorizo for both of our runners. Oh, well, no, just kidding. Oh no, they got it. Okay, good. We're good. So like we said here, they'll be heading down to Brinstar like much of the early game, getting early supers. They'll be skipping the missiles in Big Pink and the charge beam. It's actually kind of interesting to watch that room, just because you don't really ever see that room with a correct door transition. That's something I always look for, so it's very comfortable to watch that door leaving Big Pink.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, tonight in 2 of our 3 matches, we have seen those charge missiles skipped, which is not too frequent. These are, I think, the only 2 categories where you would be skipping those charge missiles.
Less than 100% you skip them, but I mean, like, you come back for them, so that's not really skipping.
You go get them later.
There's a solid elevator time for Cutie there.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty good. Better than I could probably skip Bomb Chorizo and still not get a 610 elevator.
Yeah. So like I said, all of these little mistakes, Cutie happening to mess up that damage boost, Kipp taking a little bit safer, everything adds in this category. It's very short. Every second counts, like even more so than out of the categories. This is a little bonk and the elevator room. One thing you're going to want to see is hopefully this drop from Rio could not decide a lot of things, but I mean, it'll definitely help. It's a small health from Kitty. That's not what he wants. He wants either big health, preferably missiles. Kipp, story of the night, getting the better drops so far. It's not huge, but it does add up.
And what a beautiful door transition.
It's just, you love to see it. You really do. And Cutie there farming, I don't even remember what that enemy is called, but farming that little fly bud. Not again anything. Another nothing drop for Cutie. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, Kipp also got nothing from that small grasshopper. Our runners will be heading up now. They won't be going to wreck ship, but they will be grabbing some power bombs. They'll need those to get down to Lower Norfair.
This ammo is perfect for Kipp. He's a little bit behind right now, but that 4 and 4 will be all he needs. He doesn't need to farm anything else, while Cutie is going to be looking for at least one more missile drop here somewhere. Maybe.
Still less than a fanfare away.
Very tight race so far. Both these runners playing very well. This lead holds for Cutie, though. This will give Kipp the kind of the deciding factor here, right? He's going to be the one who will be able to decide if he wants to play it super risky or not. And if I know Kipp, I know he doesn't like to play risky, but he will if he has to.
Yeah, Kipp is a very pragmatic runner, and if he recognizes that his best chance of winning might not be the best chance of finishing the run, he would rather win than, finish the run in second.
Unfortunately, that getting grabbed by that yapping maul cost him quite a bit of time there, and he barely managed to dodge getting grabbed a second time. Cutie falling down twice already, entering Kraid's lair here, giving Kipp a chance to catch back up here. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, go for three super entrants, and unfortunately misses it. That's a lot of ammo wasted for not a time gain. And he's been through the door.
Oh, he doesn't get the missile drop he probably wanted from that enemy. Likely, like Cutie is doing here, will likely use a power bomb to kill these enemies.
Cutie thankfully got the Keigo Mach ball through that enemy. Kipp not going for it, just wants to get that power bomb down and laid. This will give Cutie about a, what was that, like 6-second leads? 8-second lead?
Yeah, it's held pretty consistent. Both of them had some troubles getting into the warehouse, but not too far apart.
I don't know if that was an intentional power bomb for lag reduction killing the claws below. I think it was.
I believe it was. And a sigh of relief. This is one of those places that can go really poorly. If you miss that quick kill in GT Classic, you often don't have the backup ammo to do anything but flail around and kill claws while you wait to get missiles to kill Kraid.
And those claws are great because only one of them drops anything.
And unlike other categories, you don't even have charge beam. And technically, you could soft lock there in GT Classic if you happen to koject all of your ammo and can't get Kraid into phase 2. You're just stuck there.
Kipp, good drops again from Kraid. Gonna be saving him a little bit of time in that mini Kraid hallway. Cutie had to powerbomb the pirates on his way out, but Kipp just uses missiles. Kipp not going for high jumpless.
Okay, well, looks like neither of our runners will be doing high jumpless.
It is curious to see. I wonder if they'll go for one tank. One tank is completely feasible and not really difficult, but it is still more risky than getting another tank, and I don't know which one we'll choose. Yeah,
I would expect Kipp to go for one tank. I think in other races where this tournament where he's raced GT Classic, he's gone one tank. So I think against Cutie, he'll likely continue to do one tank.
There you go. And just like that, it's a dead heat.
Look at that sink.
Cutie leading with the super count here. That's actually pretty significant. This is very tense. If Kipp decides not to farm, he's going to have a grand total of 1 super going to Green Gate Glitch.
Yeah, that would be a lot of risk there.
They both got first try Green Gate Glitches on their last run. We'll see if they're feeling confident enough in this time.
I mean, even Cutie going in with 2 is tense. I know people are very consistent with their Green Gate Glitch strategies, but I don't think anybody's 100%.
No super from the Sova for either of them.
I expect we'll see both of our runners farm here. Kipp is indeed going for farm, so is Cutie. So who's going to have the better farm luck? Kipp gets 1 super on the first farm. Oh, 2 more? All right. Story of the night. Kipp with slightly better farm luck than Cutie gets out of that farming room just a little bit ahead.
This is looking good. Both runners hopefully will be able to finish this. At least having the best op chances they can to finish it. Kipp, by virtue of his one tank, has to do this bounce ball to enter. Cutie also getting the bounce ball in. Kipp gets through, no problem.
Nicely done,
Not even
Kipp.
beeping. And
Cutie unfortunately misses.
very happy he got that second tank because he has another chance at this. Oh no, and Cutie!
It takes a hit from the Namahe Flame, and you know, that's unfortunate. If Kipp gets this Green Gate glitch, it's going to be essentially game over.
If Kipp was watching the restream, this is where I, if I were him, would head back up the elevator, but he doesn't want to do that, or he's not watching. He gets it on second try regardless. All he has left to do left now is only hit face buttons while through the door transition. That's it. Nothing else. Just the face buttons.
And then turn off Spacer.
Yes. That purple, the Samus's suit, will show that Kipp did in fact get the GT code. Turns off Spacer so it does not crash the game. And this will be a boss rush from Kipp for here on out. There's no real danger left for Kipp except for maybe stand-up or dying to Mother Brain at some point, but that'll be about it. That's what we were talking about with this category, and that's why Cutie said he really didn't want to see this category, is because it is often, very often decided within 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate too. I was looking forward to seeing the second half of this run as close as our runners were. You know, if both runners do make it through that lava dive and that Green Gate glitch, this boss rush at the second half is a ton of movement, a ton of cool tech. You have items that you don't normally have. You get to use strats that you don't normally see, and it's unfortunate that that volatile category sees Cutie having to be out of the race 14 minutes in.
That's pretty brutal, but Cutie, always a trooper. He's not going to give up until the race is actually over. He'll keep on going. There's always potential chance for Kipp to have something go wrong. But knowing Kipp, I fully expect he will save in the most likely situation at right before Mother Brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last thing Kipp wants to do is, you know, 30 minutes into the run, have to redo a bunch of things because he wasn't being careful. Kipp is one of the most careful runners. There's a lot of runners that will not save at any point. Sloters, sorry. Kipp is one who is in it to win it. He's not going to, he doesn't let anything like, oh, you shouldn't save, people saying you shouldn't save, get in his way. He will make sure he finishes and make sure he wins and moves on to the next round.
Well, we can see from Cutie's stream here that he has quit the SRL race, and I don't blame him. That's a really brutal way to lose this tournament. Get knocked out is that lava dive. He had trouble with it in a previous GT Classic race. It's coming back to haunt. It came back to haunt him in this one as well.
I would also like to point out that Cutie did spill soda on his controller earlier today, and that likely had a detrimental effect on his lava dive.
Yeah, I imagine a soda-filled controller is not the best controller to play on. This has been a fantastic little Northford from Kipp, with every item in his arsenal. Getting the Ridley spring ball, the strat, starting with the Metal Pirates room and space jumping all through the next room and spring balling the next. In a fantastic Ridley fight. This is looking like very solid move from Kipp.
That was an insanely fast Ridley fight. I felt like that was like 2 swoops and he was dead. Cutie did have a fantastic tournament, though. Saw a lot of great runs from him. Did make it into the money. We'll be getting that prize. Shout out to our sponsors, Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios. Make sure you check both of them out. Fantastic companies sponsoring these Super Metroid prizes for our runners.
for those of you wondering, Kipp actually does have grapple and X-ray here. The game's HUD routine does not update except during certain certain events, one of which is actually collecting an item. And certain items have flags to update the HUD. So, although it does not appear in the HUD, he still has them, and you'll see that come into effect in Meridia, where he'll be using what we affectionately call the microwave beam.
That's interesting. So if Kipp, for instance, would go pick up X-ray, would grapple then also show up?
You know, at one point I knew that information, but I cannot tell you right now. At the very least, X-ray would show up. I don't remember about grapple.
It's not a question that really anybody ever thought to go answer, because even in max percent GT code, you don't go collect those items because getting them twice doesn't actually do anything for you.
That'll be another category for, I'm going to say in 3 years it'll be popular. Get every item with GT code.
That's man, I don't know. Now that the optimal route has that TAS CWJ zero tank lava dive with Varia, I don't know.
That's right.
That's a tough one to get into.
Kipp heads into Meridia here.
I think it is a great FPS. I think it is a great category if you take out the zero tank lava dive, and I think it is cool that it's a category that you can actually. There are multiple viable routes, and so if your skill level is not as good, you can go down, get Varia, get speed, get a whole bunch of stuff, and do a gravity jump with zero tank, which is not nearly as hard as the lava dive with zero tanks with Varia.
One thing I like about this category is that Meridia, ordinarily easily the hardest area in the game, is reduced to a much easier area, excuse me. With Space Jump and Plasma, the items you get in Meridia, funnily enough, it turns out that those are very good items in Meridia itself.
Not to mention X-Ray and Plasma, making Bot Wound and Dragon RNG completely non-existent.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen it, it more or less works the same way in Mega Man. Oh. Nice little horizontal spark there for Kipp.
He really didn't like that Metroid, wanted to make sure it knew it. Get deleted.
With Screw Attack here, we're going to see a lot of decked Metroids.
Yeah, luckily in GT Classic, even if you miss the full halfie, it's not actually that big of a time loss since you have Space Jump. You don't lose too much time.
Dragon is pretty interesting here. There's a lot here that might not be readily apparent unless it's specifically pointed out. Dragon, when you notice, she always has to move to the center of the screen, and when she dies, so what you're hopefully going to see Kipp do here is try to make sure when he does the microwave beam combo with Plasma and X-Ray, that Dragon is as close to the center of the screen as possible before hitting her with the beam. So you see he does one charge shot there in the beginning to make the subsequent X-rays less required, less number of them, whatever the words. But then he'll try to do the second one right in the middle of the room so that Dragon's cutscene takes a short amount of time.
Fantastically explained. Also, you'll notice Kipp made sure to crouch while he fought Dragon. When you kill Dragon, she forces you to stand up. The game forces you into a standing position. So you can crouch while you do this X-ray beam combo, and then when you stand up, you know that Dragon is dead and you can let go.
Thankfully, Botwoon is in fact dead. Kipp did not happen to respawn Botwoon. That can happen if you exit the room of bot wounds on the right before the wall is fully collapsed. And that is very embarrassing because you have to kill bot wound again.
Yes, as we mentioned, Spore Spawn's Death Flag is set immediately when you kill the plant. Bot Wound's Death Flag is not set until the wall is completely destroyed that's keeping you in. And so if you are very, very quick, you can get out of the room before the wall is gone. And then it turns out if you were doing a mini boss RTA run, you have to you're not done yet. You have to go back and kill him.
That's right.
Kipp does need to remember to head over to kill Fantoon here.
I can't imagine why anyone would forget to go heal Fantoon.
Yeah, there is by the way, people are looking at the tournament spreadsheet. There is a bug on the spreadsheet where if there's 3 games, sometimes it shows the wrong person advancing. Or it shows somebody advancing before game 3 has actually been played. But we could, I think at this point, it's probably fine to talk about Kipp's next round matchup in the semifinals. Taking on the #1 seed in the tournament, Zosti. Going to be quite a matchup. I am looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a... man, I mean, all these matches, like... these semifinals are going to be extremely tight.
I think one of the best parts about the multi-category tournament for me is the fact that we get to see all of these top runners run lots of different categories against each other. And there's just tons of good Super Metroid matches. So it's been fantastic to see, these any percent, that all bosses race we saw today, low percent ice race was fantastic. It's been great. We've got more good matches coming up tomorrow, by the way. With Kipp getting that slow Fantoon. I think it was a slow Fantoon X-Ray. Kill the Elephant Ghost, as Kipp would say, roll tide.
Yes. I'm really looking forward to the next one of these tournaments, as each, a pattern of 2, of course, but each subsequent one has increased the amount of SM the runners have to know and play. So I fully expect and hope that the next one will include simply a marathon of every category and not choosing any of them.
Yeah, we're going to do the entire extension board is going to be what you have to run every match.
And we just have content through Metroid everyone wants to see. That's what the people want to see.
What it's going to be is the tournament's just going to start on a day, and then the races, everybody has to run every single category, and then you just done when you're finished all the categories, and we'll see.
That's it. It's simple.
There is one quarterfinal match left. Shiny Zenny versus Azure tomorrow. I don't know which channel that will be on, but that is at 5 o'clock Eastern time. That one I think has some of the more interesting ban and pick choices of any matchup that I've seen. So we'll see. We'll see what gets run there.
With all this being said, this is looking a pretty solid GT Classic time for Kipp with the 27:45 statues. 34 GT Classic, nothing to sneeze at for sure. Kipp actually didn't take off screw attack this time. I'm interested to see what'll happen. Oh, he's gonna do
spring ball. Yeah, it'll be spring ball skip.
Oh yeah, that's the
which is probably the #1 reason to run GT Classic is you get to do spring ball zeb skip.
That's such a great.
Sorry, we're not supposed to call it spring ball zeb skip because you can do it without spring ball. It is morph ball zeb skip.
Yeah, but I mean, let's give spring ball a spotlight a little bit. It doesn't get a whole lot of it. It's gone its big heyday in the past though with spring ball baby skip and now spring ball zeb skip. I mean, let's just find some more skips for spring ball to do.
We also have blue bomber. Blue bomber requires spring ball. And actually played an important role in the aforementioned game where Sloders forgot to kill Phantom.
It did indeed.
Hey, Sloders didn't lose that race.
He absolutely won it.
Well, he didn't.
No, he also won that race.
I wouldn't say won it. He just didn't lose it. Right?
All I know is we both got first place, so it sure seems like we both won it.
Hey, I think chat won that race. %, spring ball. There is Kipp taking out that that's the first Zebetite and then using spring ball to get through the second. That way he doesn't have to take off screw attack. Has plenty of ammo. One of the few categories, probably this and 100%, and I guess GT Max, where you don't have to worry about ammo at all. You run into Turian with 100 missiles, you could fire them willy-nilly the whole time and have plenty.
This is a little bit interesting. GT Classic gives you exactly 700 energy, which is the exact energy required to give you 7 E-tanks on the HUD, but it's not a full 7th E-tank. So it's important here he doesn't get hit, because otherwise he'll have to go into his menu to empty his reserves. Because you need a bare minimum of 700 energy to do stand-up, which
yeah,
I assume he'll do.
Or he wouldn't do stand-up, which I guess if you've already won the race, you could
skip
stand-up. Did he save?
I don't think I saw him save.
I don't think he saved.
I don't think so.
Oh man.
This is still pretty safe. I mean, he has the full energy reserves, so even if he damages himself down, it'll still be fine.
Oh no, Andrew, he's stuck in the floor.
Yes. Oh. By the way, if you're ever playing Super Metroid Randomizer, I recommend you don't do that unless they fix that bug of mine. So this is actually interesting. Doing stand-up in GT Classic, the baby Metroid will detach from Stamets and stay wherever she is once Stamets' energy is full. And if you do it too far to the left or too high up, she'll stay in a position that the Mother Brain can't hit the baby with her onion rings. So Kipp is just playing it safe here. He's just standing in a normal spot so the Metroid can get hit by the onion rings. An optimal strategy would be to damage yourself in Mother Brain's head while you're shooting her. That is difficult and risky, and it's not really surprising given that he didn't say that he's not going for it here. A very safe 6 shots after baby dies. It's not bad at all. Very respectable stand-up.
Yeah, especially given it was played so safely to make sure it doesn't soft lock. And no blue bomber from Kipp. A little bit
Not even for
disappointed.
the fans.
Probably not a strat that he's that worried about incorporating into his runs at this point.
Yeah, I imagine not.
Will we get the left side spark though?
Not today, but a Behemoth Spark is good enough.
This is going to be a very solid GT Classic time from Kipp.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is a very... Okay, this is hilarious, actually. Unless this spreadsheet was literally just updated, that is Kipp's third 34-51 GT Classic in this tournament, which it might already be updated, but if that's his third one, that'd be really funny. Anyhow, it's a GG for Kipp. Well done to him. He'll be advancing on to the winner of... What was it again?
Zost.
He'll be Zost. That's right.
He will be facing Zost. The winner of Shiny Zenny versus Asger will be taking on Sloders 27 in the other semifinal match. We are joined by Kipp. GG Kipp. Very nicely done. Good races. 3 in a row. How you feeling?
Hey guys, what's up? Feeling pretty good. That was a really good match. I knew it was going to be a really tough one and a competitive one. And outside of the, and again, I don't know exactly what happened because I can't see everything, but outside of what I assume is probably the lava dive death for Cutie, that probably would have been a pretty competitive match too. So, but yeah, I feel good, man. Feels good to move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be taking on Zost in the semifinals. Going to be a tall order, but one I'm sure you're quite excited about. It's always exciting to take on one of the, if not the top runner in the community.
Yeah, I'm excited. I already see some people in the chat giving me their condolences. So appreciate that, guys. I had some people give me condolences last week too. So, we'll see what happens. Zost is one of my favorite people. I had a chance to hang out with him some back in the fall when we did an event together. And, he's someone who I've watched and really enjoyed his stream, and his play is very inspiring. And clearly, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. He is the odds-on favorite to win this tournament because he is by far the best at everything. Every other runner in this tournament has holes that can be exploited in a multi-category setting. He doesn't have any. With that said, though, I'm really excited to race against him. This isn't going to be the first. This isn't the first time that I've raced Zost in a tournament. And let's put it this way: I know I'm an underdog, a big underdog, but I'm not afraid, and I'm very excited. I like playing the best, and I'm going to give it hell, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, good to hear. You join the aforementioned Zost as well as Sloders 27 in the final 4 of our tournament. We got one more race tomorrow, Shiny Zenny versus Asger, to fill out that final 4. You gonna drop in and catch that one?
Oh, without a doubt. I've watched every match in the playoffs so far, and I tried to watch as many as I could, even in the Swiss. I'm an organizer this year. This is actually the first community, like major community tournament that I've been an organizer for. And it's been a lot of fun organizing and helping people and working with the crew and everything. So even when I'm not racing, I'm trying to support everything as much as possible. Plus, to me, this is just my opinion. It doesn't get any better than this, man. Like, this is an excellent watch. If you're a Super Metroid fan, especially someone who's familiar with, categories beyond just any percent, like in terms of, watching a lot of people, this is super fun to watch. So I love watching these matches, and it's going to be fun tomorrow to get a nice meal and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Asger and Zenny are both excellent, and I think that's a really fascinating matchup when you start talking about the categories. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, I certainly am looking forward to it, and we'll plug. Hopefully, it's okay to plug this Strat Chat tomorrow night as well at the usual 8 p.m. time on your channel. We'll be talking about the last round of the playoffs. We'll have the final four all set. We'll have those matchups. We'll talk bans and picks along with you, myself, and Hockey Towner. So make sure you come check that out too.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And before we wrap this up, I gotta give a shout out. Andrew, you still there? Maybe Andrew, are you still there?
Sorry, your mic cut out just a little bit after you said my name.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to both you guys for doing commentary. I'm really appreciative of y'all stepping in. And Andrew hasn't done commentary in quite some time, so this was kind of a special thing, and I'm looking forward to going back and watching the restream. So thank you guys. And would the two of you like to have a celebratory HOTS match here in a little while?
Oh, maybe I might be able to make that happen. Well, absolutely. It was an honor to do commentary with an esteemed Super Metroid community member such as Andrew / Ruzda. I certainly was done with commentary for the year. When Kipp told me that Andrew was doing commentary on this match, I said, I got to come out of retirement. I got to do it.
Right. Well, before I go, I want to close by saying, because I haven't mentioned this yet, but I want to give a big GG to Cutie. Cutie had a really good tournament. Cutie is a player that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And I mean this as sincerely as possible. Any category that he wants to play, if he'll just sit down and play whatever, he can get whatever time he wants in any category. So anytime that you see a mine on the board for like a category he hasn't run much of, he could definitely beat it. Like if he wanted to do RBO, he could get a top time. If he wanted to do low ice, he could get a top time. So he's one of our truly gifted players. He's busted his tail in the last couple years, and getting a mid 41 and 80% is, I don't know if everybody out there really understands how insane that is. It's a very difficult thing to do. So it was great to be able to play him, and I wish him well, obviously, in his future endeavors. Yeah,
absolutely, Kipp. I agree 100%. I think I said basically that in the low percent race that it's obviously the category that you, I believe, have played the most of all categories by quite a bit. And I'm sure if Cutie put in the time, he would be right up there in those top times with you.
Without a doubt.
It's unfortunate. It's not unfortunately, but it's just a category that I think he said this was like his 5th or 6th run of it or something, which is a little bit ridiculous.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he got it. Tonight was his PB, and he basically got a sub hour without practicing.
Yeah.
So I remember having to work like super hard to get a sub hour.
I had to work for that too.
But yeah, I'll leave it at that, guys. Once again, thank you, Zost. I know you're out there. I see you out there. Looking forward to next week. It's going to be truly an honor to race you, and looking forward to it. And thanks everybody out there for the support and the love. We will see you in the semifinals. Good night, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Kipp.
GG, good races.
All right, Andrew, you want to do the honors as you have come out of retirement? You've actually come out of retirement to do your commentary. Why don't you close it down for us?
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed the fantastic races. These are easily 2 of the best runners of this game in the world, and they both put on a great show for you. Catch more of this multi-category tournament content tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a great night or day or wherever you are.